So we asked. Well, basically, yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Shoot.
Is anyone here aware of the mega bus transportation? Have you heard of such? Well, if not, it's transportation that travels, I guess, from state to state, and I understand it's a minimal fee. And I guess it depends on how far you travel. And if you register early, then you get a cheaper rate. But I feel that it would bring Grapeland business, especially Mr. Harold, if he could get involved with that. It's kind of like the other bus that comes through, the Greyhound. And I think it might be good if we could get involved with that or find out more about it and bring more business, like I said, to Grapeland might help you out.
Bring them up.
Is there anything else? Yes.
Mayor, this may not help Grapeland directly, but I think it'll help Grapeland indirectly. Last week I went over and got my income tax, and when I was getting my income tax and everything, I asked the accountant, I said, did you put my sales tax on my car on there? He said, yes sir, we did. He said, incidentally, he said, for those people that don't know it, everybody that buys a new car can put it on their income taxes, take it off their sales tax, off your income taxes. But here's what my issue is. If you go over to Tyler and buy that car over in Tyler, the sales taxes goes to the county that Tyler's in. If you go over here to Austonio, or not Austonio, but Alto, and buy one over there at the Dodge dealer, that sales tax goes to that county. So if you don't buy your sales tax from if you don't buy your car from Mr. Cutshaw, your sales tax does not go to the county of Houston, which I think that the city of Grapeland gets a percentage of that. So I encourage you. Now they will not bring it to your attention, because what it does is it requires them to come to this county that you want it registered in and personally register it there. So they're not going to bring it to your attention. They don't want to go drive all the way to do it. But if you call it to their attention, by law, state law, they are required to do that. So the city of the county of Houston gets credit for that sales tax. And I would like to get that publicized as much as possible.
Thank you for looking out for us. Are there any other questions or statements? Okay, as you all know, we have some executive session issues on our agenda. And we have it documented that we will go in executive session for personnel matters based on Government Code Chapter 551.074. But let me say something before everybody leaves for our executive session. In our executive sessions, when we have employees or individuals, and we do a review, our review is based on a fair and impartial review. We have to approach it with fundamental fairness and arrive at good, just decisions. Decisions that we can live with, and decisions that is appropriate for that situation. I just want to let everybody know that. There have been some questions about when y'all go in executive session, what's being done? What are y'all doing? Are you plotting on someone? Are you doing this and that? So I want to explain this today, so everybody leave here will understand what's taking place. You know, we have to do a fair and impartial review. We have to follow it with fundamental fairness, and we have to arrive at a just decision that will be appropriate for the city of Grapeland and for the citizens in the city of Grapeland. Okay? We have, on this subject, we have Mr. Smith present, and he said he'd like to speak. We cannot take any agenda action on his speaking, but he had filled out the card, he had read the documentation for citizen participation in our meetings. And those of you that didn't pick up a copy, I have a copy here, and you can understand why he's being allowed to speak. Mr. Smith, the floor is yours.
Speak here.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is James Smith. I am a resident of Anderson County, and I frequent Houston County. I'm in and out. One of your favorite citizens is Mrs. S.B. Walker. We call her ASB, and I'm part of the family. But on my business here, I stop and get the Courier and the Messenger, and I try to keep up with what's going on here. I am a civil rights worker, and one of the things I say is injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And it doesn't matter about race, creed, or color. If something is wrong and you need some help, we are our brother's keeper, and that's what I work on. But what I would like to say is, in relationship to, I don't know everything about what has happened with your chief of police. I don't know all the issues, but a concern I have, if this is an officer, chief of police, John Smith, I had 2 incidents with him. One was in Anderson County that was unfavorable, and I had an investigation into the conduct, and the integrity that was supposed to be with elected officials in law enforcement. You take a sworn oath to uphold the law and the Constitution and equal protection and equal representation. That did not happen. Also, my wife and I were traveling through your city, and my wife received a ticket that we didn't think was right. We were not committing the crime that we was accused of, speeding, but we didn't take the time to come back because the reputation of this person, and we didn't know how Grapeland, Texas would, I have my concerns about Grapeland, Texas. Whether you know it or not, or you've seen me before, I've been in and out of your city on a lot of issues at the school, over issues of African-American citizens, and I've been with civil family matters here, and a lot of other issues in and out of your city. But anyway, I try to, like the mayor is saying, facts and be sure I'm right with whatever action I take. And that's kind of what I wanted to say about the chief. In Palestine, we had a lot of racial profiling that was going on, and I got involved doing my civic duty as I'm doing it right now, and as those of you that are citizens that are here doing your civic duty. But we had a police officer racially profiling African Americans, and they were beating up the women and children. And but the concern was that the city of Palestine got rid of this police chief, and I just say this right quick, I can move along. But the background checks are very important. Now, a lot of times, FBI background check costs you some money. My wife and I we work with children, and we had to pay that for the FBI background check. But it's very important because the city of Palestine hired a chief of police that they thought was going to come in and clean up racial profiling. He was already under investigation for racial profiling young professionals, and black professionals, African Americans, in another place, so they didn't do any checking, and they didn't hire him in the right procedure. So he and the city manager got fired, and we have an African American police chief there now, and things are a lot better. And what they have is a model called community policing. That's where the police officers get involved with the community, the handshake, and get to know everybody, and you can work it out. And economic development means a lot, because if your officers are running off your citizens or people that pass through that can spend dollars here, then they may get a few dollars for the ticket, but you're losing a lot of other dollars where we might stop at the dollar store or just come in downtown. And I'm here pretty regular, buying things out of the city of Grapeland. So I appreciate it. And another thing, I really appreciate you trusting in Mr. George Pearson to become your mayor. And as far as I can tell, my experience with him this evening, he's done a great job and seems to be conducting the business as you would. A lot of times, African Americans are looked upon as, we can't serve in decision-making positions because we're not qualified. But as you can tell, your mayor is proving that different tonight, and council person and whoever else is here. So I appreciate you, and I will continue to frequent the city. And whatever decision you make on the chief, a lot of times they need anger management, they need culture sensitivity training, and things like that. Maybe they can improve, or they just move on. But whatever would be best for your city overall, that everybody get along and be all right, and it won't be any harm or any lawsuits because of racial profiling or whatever else. I appreciate you giving me this time tonight, and thank you, and I will continue to frequent your city. And thank you.
Are there any other statements before we go into executive session? Ma'am, you and your son like to have it? Are y'all just here visiting?
We're
Seeing?
just visiting.
Okay, we're glad to have you. Please come back. Who else is here that we hadn't recognized? Mr. Walker, you?
Just here. Happy to be alive.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Well, if y'all would be excused, we're going into executive session. Now, I don't know how the weather is out there, but I'm sure some of you might leave and some of you may not. If the weather is not inclement on the outside, we will try to make arrangements for you. And I don't know, it's supposed to start storming tonight, so I don't want anybody to get wet, nor do I want anybody to freeze. But, and the reason why I'm saying this, probably during this review or hearing, we're going to have to go in and out of our office to get documents or to get something done. And I wouldn't want you all to be exposed to an executive session so someone could say, well, I heard and I saw and this, that, and the other. So basically what I'm saying is, if it's not too inclement, if you wait on the outside, now I don't know how long this is going to take. I do want to make sure that we provide due process for our chief. And we're going to try to follow the goals that I set out and I explained to you earlier. Everybody understand? Okay. Thank you.
Mayor, when we get that new city hall, we won't have this problem.
I agree.
But you can go ahead. You can go ahead. You go.
We're back in regular session at 9:12 p.m. on April the 9th, 2013. Is there a motion on the table in reference to the review of our Chief of Police, John Smith?
I move that Police John Smith be terminated and effective, be no longer effective in for the municipality of the City of Grapeland.
Is there a second? It's been both moved and second that our Police Chief John Smith be terminated from the municipality of the City of Grapeland. Are there any questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Is there a second motion in reference to our executive session?
I make a motion that Chief John Smith will receive a general discharge of his F5 Category B from the municipality of the City of Grapeland. A copy of this F5 will be provided by certified mail as required by Occupation Code 1701.452D in 7 business days, and a copy along with 35 hours will be forwarded to the T-Close license information. If hand delivery is possible, a copy will also be hand delivered.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded that Chief John Smith received an F5 of General Category B. A copy of his F5 will be handed to him, and sent by certified mail, and a copy will be forwarded to the T-Close Agency of Certification in the state of Texas, in Austin, Texas. Are there any questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? The motion passes unanimously. We will make sure that all this is provided to Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. Is there another?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. You second that motion? This meeting is adjourned.